Welcome to Storyteller, the puzzle game where you have to create a story that matches the prompt. Here I must make 4 deaths with only 2 characters. How is that even possible? Well, the Baron could send him off the cliff, presumably with a poke in the butt. But then he comes back. Not dissuaded by these recent events, the Baron does it again. Although he's a bit more scared this time. And the knight comes back again. 3rd death. The Baron once again does it. But he is so perturbed after getting a knight 3 times, his ghost finally scares him off the edge. Now, you might think the Baron's the bad guy, having committed 3 acts of murder. But seeing what the knight can do, I don't blame him. I must make a story where the queen marries. Starts with a kidnapping. The Baron kidnaps her. The knight. Oh, she starts there. Must free her. And she falls in love. She mentions the Baron. Now, I know I should have the knight and the queen marry, but what if the Baron shows up? He's just angry, and the Baron is shocked. How could someone have possibly pulled this lever? Okay, now you may marry. Oh, and he's got to be stoked. He becomes a king now. That's one hell of a promotion. Everyone must sit on the throne. Well, the queen starts on the throne, of course, as one does, and the Baron is jealous of that. So he wants the throne for himself. But the knight is jealous of that? He doesn't really give a damn. What happens if the knight goes to the throne room right now? He's thinking of her, doesn't see the crown there. So now he has motivation to get the Baron? Maybe this isn't needed. Maybe the queen just needs to scare him off the cliff. All right, there's a moral to this story, which is don't go to a cliff if you've killed somebody. And frankly, this knight is not happy to be king, but gotta do what he's gotta do. The queen marries, but there's only 2 characters. Or are there? First, the queen wants to marry herself and doesn't want the Baron. So the Baron kidnaps her and then puts on a disguise of a lizard dragon crocodile. Rescues the queen as the crocodile, who falls in love with the crocodile and then marries the queen. So we have a crocodile king. Or a fearsome dragon. This is from the demo, so I saw that alternate ending coming. This story's better because the Baron has to keep the suit on for his entire life, otherwise he's busted. Detective arrests a murderer with a new witness scene. I can't wait to solve line puzzles. But for now, the butler gets the Duke. What's this witness scene about? Was the detective watching from above? Oh, from behind the mirror, look at this. Or it's a one-way painting? Either way, the detective has evidence. Wait, what? I need to swap the order of these 2 because he couldn't have been witnessing afterwards. So he's like, aha, I see you. I love that they cut eye holes out of the painting, and I'm also glad that those are the only holes they cut out. The butler gets fired. Oh, I get it. I imagine he's having tomfoolery on the job. The Duke goes and witnesses, because this is what he likes to do in his free time, and he sees the butler playing around, and the Duke is not happy about that. So even after the butler puts down the gun, the Duke shows up and fires him, which is dangerous because now you've given him motivation. A spouse gets vengeance, so the butler gets the gun, and the Duchess is watching this time as the butler shoots the Duke. The Duchess may not have been willing to touch the gun before, but now she is. And she will stand where the butler stood. And the butler will stand where the Duke has stood. This is great character development, because I want to note, she wouldn't dare touch the gun beforehand. The Duchess gets the butler arrested. Well, I imagine the story starts the same as it always does. The butler shoots the duck. Sorry, my face cam's covering some of it. But before that happens, we actually have a Duchess witness, who then alerts the detective. After she tells the detective about the murder, the butler then puts the gun back because he's not very clever or studious at all, because the detective can arrest him. But I gotta make a story where the Duke isn't home. That's tough. Well, he's already not home. Instead, we have the duck. Who can he shoot then? Himself? Well, the Duchess still tells the detective about the guy with the gun, but now he's asking about where it is. He has it behind his back. What if the detective goes to the gun room and he's like, aha, she is telling the truth and totally isn't covering up for herself? I mean, you ever know, as a detective, you gotta think about that stuff. But that's still not enough proof to arrest the butler. What happens if the Duchess and butler show up in the ballroom together? Oh my, that's terrible. Oh, yeah, that could work. Well, she did get the butler arrested, but at what cost? Oh, we get to have an execution story. The queen is sitting on the throne until the Baron kidnaps her. Is that enough for him to get on the throne? It is. Well, the knight could save the queen. She tells him about the Baron, and then the Baron gets executed. She doesn't have a crown. Hold on, if he's here and the knight, oh, I see. So the knight sees the crown is gone, realizes the Baron must have done it. So now the Baron gets executed? Actually, this is the first one I actually got stuck on. Took a while. This game's fun, but has been easy so far. Do I actually need this first panel? I guess not. Always get rid of redundancies. Could I have the knight arrest the Baron? The queen can reclaim the crown and then take no pity on the Baron? Oh, she giving a thumbs down. You tried to kidnap me. Boo. And I have to do it by the hand of the knight now. He refuses the crown. It belongs to the queen. So how do I get the knight to have the crown? And the only person who can execute is royalty. Well, out of curiosity, since the Baron has the crown, can he execute the queen? Oh, he can. But in an ironic turn of events, the knight gets the Baron out of revenge, takes the throne himself, and then sadly executes the Baron. I guess it's a bit more angrily. Gee, I wonder if the same fate will befall the knight. Yes, it actually will. The knight must lose his head. And this is a lot of different scenes. So first, the knight's got to kidnap the queen and then probably just... Oh, no, he's like, all is good. Can the queen imprison the knight? Nah, all is good there too. What if the knight kills the queen? But he's probably gonna be sad. But he sadly still takes up the crown anyway. And then the queen comes back. And I can see where this is going. This is messed up. The knight's like, no, it's a simple mistake. I thought you were dead, rightfully so. How dare you revive, then imprison, then execute me. Oh, she needs the crown first, of course. Pick up the crown and then get him. That's, wow. He was set up. It's like the queen knew she was gonna come back. Maybe he put on the crown too fast. You know, maybe you gotta wait like the mandatory 2 to 3 days, however long it takes for a resurrection. So it was more of a slip up. He didn't read the finer details of his contract. This is why you read all the terms and conditions, folks. Somehow Amnesia has to go with the execution. So maybe it starts with the queen and Baron getting married? He's angry, kidnaps the queen, and then forgets that he kidnaps the queen. So he rescues her because he wants the crown, but the queen didn't forget. So she kills him. Oh, there's the execution of the queen as well. Out of curiosity, is this first scene necessary? It is not. That's a 4-panel story right there. So what if the queen forgets who kidnapped her? But she does remember that the Baron rescues her. And now he gets that crown he wanted. And immediately imprisons, then executes the queen. Dude, you just got the crown. He did this so fast, I feel like he did it on a bet with his mates. Hey, you bet I can get the king's crown and execute the queen? No way, man, you're crazy. Ha, watch me. The queen suffers 4 tragedies. That's actually nuts. I would imagine she starts by getting kidnapped, and then maybe the knight marries the Baron? No, they have different loves. Does the Baron taking the crown count as a tragedy? I feel like tragedies are being kidnapped, heartbreak, and death. But let's say the knight rescues the queen, and she goes back to the throne. That's gotta be a tragedy. Maybe she has a tragedy again at the wedding. So that's 3. And then he executes the queen, is that 4? It is not. Okay, well, how about I make my story really stupid? The knight rescues the queen, who gets immediately kidnapped again. Maybe not immediate. Maybe the Baron gets the crown first, before the rescue. So now it could be a tragedy where she wants to have the crown back. I don't know if this is a tragedy. It might not be. I know her getting kidnapped again is a tragedy, and being executed is a tragedy, so the missing crown is not a tragedy. Does the queen suffer if the knight is also executed? I mean, she has no idea. I think I gotta use the wedding scene somehow. Wait, I have an idea. If the Baron wants the crown, maybe We can start by having the knight kidnap the queen. No, the knight would never kidnap the queen. What if at first the queen rejects the knight and then he kidnaps her? Nah, he's over it. Honestly, good on him. The first reasonable response taken in the entire game. How about this? What if the Baron executes the knight and then the ghost of the knight shows up? Well, this scene isn't needed anymore. Maybe there's still a knight saving scene. Wait, I guess this is a tragedy? Ah, there's the tragedy. So this is a tragedy, and each of the deaths are a tragedy. That makes 3. So the 4th tragedy is that he took the crown? But I thought I had that before. Let's be honest, if you get kidnapped twice, that is in fact 2 separate tragedies. Don't try to tell me that's one, because it's not. A cyclic, mutually toxic love affair. Now that's what I'm here for. King and queen are in love, but they have a fight. And do I need both the king and the queen to forget? And then be in love again? Is that all it takes? It says mutually toxic, so what if only one of them forgets? But then the other one forgets and they're back in love again? It's kind of cyclic. What else could I do then? I mean, obviously they gotta be in love, then they gotta fight. Then one of them's gotta forget, maybe both of them. Maybe they forget about the fight and then fight again. But that's not cyclic. Maybe they specifically both need to forget, then both be in love, then get in another fight. Is that what they mean? That is what they mean, I understand now. So the cycle only repeats once they start to fight again. But we all know the cycle was gonna repeat as soon as they fell in love again. A double execution? Well, this is a pretty short one, so I imagine the king is with the maid and the queen is in the bushes, of which she will execute the king first for being a cheating bastard, and then the maid for going along with it. One where the king takes revenge, so I guess I imagine the queen would thumbs down the maid, and then the king gets his revenge. Damn, cold-hearted. A rags to royalty story. Can this story start with an execution? He sees no reason to. What if the king first has an affair with the queen watching, and the queen kidnaps the king in response, but the heroic maid comes and saves the king? The king is angry, so he executes his wife. And the king and the maid live happily ever after. But the marriage was never about the maid. It was about forbidden love. The king then seeks out the ghost of the queen, who rejects him. And scares the shit out of both of them. The Baron rules alone. Well, he wants the crown, but he's angry about the king, so he'll yeet the king. So then, wants to marry the queen still. Maybe he can actually get the queen right now. But then he wouldn't have the crown. Nobody has the crown, in fact. So that's where the maid comes in. The maid has to actually gain the crown at some point. So what if he starts by executing the queen? The king and the maid marry. He gets over it pretty quickly. The Baron then gets rid of the king, and the maid doesn't have that grudge against him, so he now gets the crown and immediately backstabs her. You really had to do it alone? What if the maid's a bro? What if she would go on killing sprees with you? Is it the return of Bernard, everyone's favorite thin-faced man, and there's a moon in a forest and he drinks poison. So it all starts in the forest where Bernard and Juliet are in love, but there's a full moon. And then he eats Juliet. The moon goes back and he realizes what he's done and has no other choice but to drink poison. A truly sad story. Now, I'm pretty sure werewolves aren't real, but if I see a shirtless man with a lot of chest hair out on a full moon, I'm not taking my chances. The queen gets the Baron arrested. How would this work? They're just kind of chilling at first. Same with detective. Everyone's neutral. Do I have to start with the Baron putting on the disguise? And then the queen seeing the disguise is gone? She has no idea what's going on. Question, can the queen put on the disguise? She still doesn't know what's going on. Okay, well, hold on. He puts on the disguise and he scares the queen? And the queen tells the detective about a dragon? The detective checks out. No, he has no idea. What if the detective sees the dragon? He's just scared. Maybe he's had his fun now, so he puts it back. And the detective sees the disguise, finds the Baron's fingerprints on it. And that's enough to get the Baron arrested? I've seen people get away with worse in this game. He just wanted to have a little fun. The only cause I can think is that his Halloween costume clearly wasn't slutty enough. Do better next time, buddy. Cured of vampirism. It's nighttime and we have Mina and John, who are scared together. And if they go to the crypt, there's a Dracula. Oh, I see now. Hold on, hold on. What if, at night, Dracula bites Mina? And then if Mina's in the crypt, John sees this and he's shocked. So he goes to the professor, tells him to stab Dracula. So he goes to Dracula's crypt and stabs him. And sees that Mina is better. Cured even. This was also from the demo. And the ghost of Dracula, oh, there is no ghost. He's just petrified. The professor gets his happy ending. Good job. The monster is slain. So we have a full moon. Oh. And the Baron could see it? No, he's just screwed. What if the Baron puts on the dragon costume first and then confronts the werewolf? They're scared of each other. Maybe then he goes to the professor. He tries to tell him about the werewolf, but the professor's like, why do you care? So maybe he puts on the disguise, sees the werewolf, takes off the disguise, goes to the professor, who gives him a gun with silver bullets, and then slays the beast. The dragon can die? I can see how this goes. So first he puts on that and he scares Bernard. Poor Bernard makes it over to the professor, who gives him a gun and then slays the dragon. And then he lives happily ever after as a werewolf. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. More Storyteller coming very soon. Hope you all have a wonderful day and peace.